Okay, so welcome back to some more Monster Energy Supercross 3. Today we are doing another episode of Does Your Track Suck? First off, I have to say a huge thank you for all the support on the last video. I really do appreciate it. Remember, if you want to see another episode of Does Your Track Suck, leave a like on the video. If we can hit 500 likes again, we will definitely do another episode similar to the last video. We actually doubled our goal on that last video, so thank you so much for that. It shows you guys definitely want to see more Does Your Track Suck? Today's tracks are for sure interesting. We start pretty high with a good track, and then it's all pretty downhill from there. So should be a pretty interesting episode today. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Again, huge thank you for the support on this series. It's fun for me to do. Glad you guys are still enjoying it. But enough intro, let's jump into the tracks. Alright, so the first one we have here is MXM Fam SX by Brandon. This is the best track of the day by far. It has everything that we always comment on that we like to see in a track. It has the line choice, it has the flow, it has the creativity to it. It's not a super tough track, but it was fun and I kept finding different lines the more I played the track. It has a main line that you can follow, but there's a bunch of different secondary lines out there that feel pretty competitive too. A couple sections, I mean, he has a nice wheel tap there you saw, and then we try to get on top of these tables. There's another section coming up pretty soon where you can jump over a table, but in my opinion, it feels like it's probably faster to choke up and step onto the top of the table and then stay on the top of the tables. It has a bunch of sections such as that. He does have some pre-made stuff in there. Now, I don't have a problem with pre-made stuff, and the way he puts it in his track, it fits good. This section here, I feel like it's probably fastest to be on top of them, but you can jump over that first table and have a different rhythm through it. Here's another pre-made section. And then he has a double here coming up, and then you kind of jump over or on to the start straight or across the start straight. And then he has a section in the back where I feel like you could probably hit a different line than what we hit here. But this was the consistent way through it. And then we have a triple. Maybe you could have a quad in there somewhere. But it feels like that's how he built it. And I know that I might not be hitting every section perfect. I say that, hey, this was an easy track, or this worked really good. And people are commenting that, yeah, he says that and he's over jumping it. Yeah, you could probably, if you try to perfect land everything, of course it's going to be tougher. And it's a video game. It's kind of an arcade video game. You don't get punished for it maybe for overjumping or underjumping something. Yeah, if you case, I agree that maybe crashing easier would make sense. They tried doing that with MXGP Pro, but I don't feel like they did it right, because a lot of the times I felt like I was crashing in a really dumb way in that game. So I don't know. I feel like they tried doing that in MXGP Pro, but if they did it in Supercross, some people might like it, but I feel like for a majority of casual players, that would be a huge turnoff. So that's probably why they don't punish you too much for overjumping or underjumping sections. And again, I know it would make it tougher if we tried to downside everything perfect, but that's just not how the game is, and that's not really how I play. That being said, I do feel like this game punishes you a bit more if you don't land perfect, because it's pretty easy to lose your momentum and then you can't finish out a rhythm section or whatever the case may be. It might not be perfect, but I feel like they've done better with punishing you for not hitting the sections the right way, more so in this game. So Brandon, awesome job. I loved this track. PS4 MXM Fam SX by Brandon. We are giving this track half a star. Fantastic job. Line choice, flowy, original, awesome job. I highly encourage you guys to try it out if you are on PlayStation. Alright, so here we have track 2. This is Trash Track by Creeping Debt 135. The comment actually came from Tiz Chuck Norris, but I'm not sure that's actually who made the track, so I'm just giving you the creator that was attached to the track. There was also 2 tracks that had the same name, which made it kind of tough to figure out which track I was supposed to do. But this track was definitely the better track. the more interesting track, so this is what I chose. Not sure it's the right one, but it was the more fun track. So Trash Track by Creeping Debt 135. And it was okay. I felt like it wasn't the best track I've ever rode, but the name doesn't really reflect how fun it was. It had a bunch of sections, such as that double, where it was really easy to overjump, but hey, having some sections where you can't just full send, I support that. I think it makes it more interesting. And then he has sections like this quad over the table that wasn't super easy to get. And then you saw, I'll point it out again, there was a section with a bunch of jumps that were the same, all put together. Sections such as that are very difficult to do. In my mind, it feels like it should work fine for a rhythm section, but it just never really does. And he actually did it in a way that you can hit it 2 different ways, and it kind of works. It's not perfect, but it's okay. It can be an annoying section too, but when you actually get it, it feels pretty good, and I feel like if you're racing your friends, that is the section that will make or break you. We actually do pretty hard there, but this triple is super easy to get over. I feel like he could have extended this and then had something different. I don't know, it just kind of breaks the flow for me there. Also, you saw to the left of us, there was a bridge. I'm not a big fan of an over-under when it doesn't get used as an over-under. So, not a huge fan of that, but this is the section I was talking about. You can actually send it and triple in, and then we quad, triple, triple, triple. Probably a better way, but that was actually pretty sweet that you can send it off of that. I hadn't been doing it, and then at the very end, I got it. I messed up the rest of the lap, so I didn't show you that, but I wanted to show you that specific section, because it's quite a bit different than what we had been doing, and I feel like it probably is the faster way through it, especially if you can maintain the quad. So an interesting track. I feel like it did some stuff different. I mean, if you do the double, we have the quad, triple, triple. I feel like it's probably pretty similar, because we do get 2 quads in there, but you do have to choke up a bunch to not triple that. You know what I mean? Just to hit the double. And then we have some big sections here. Overall, it was a pretty solid track. I just wasn't a big fan of the 2 bridges he has where you don't go under it. I've always not been a huge fan of that. I mean, in certain situations, it's okay, I feel like. It's just a personal preference. It doesn't mean that it's not right. It's a custom track, however you want to do it. But in my opinion, you can use other jumps there that would be better options than the bridge. But again, it's just my opinion. Everything else has a pretty good flow. There was a couple sections I feel like were almost too easy to overjump. I feel like you could have extended it to make it tougher. You know, make the section coming out of the corner a bit tougher, or extend the section in the middle. But if that's what you want, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not wrong. It's just how I like to play and what I like to see. But overall, it had a really good flow. I feel like it was a pretty solid track. We're gonna give this 1.5 stars. So Trash Track on PlayStation. I recommend you guys give it a go. It is actually a pretty tough track, and the name definitely doesn't reflect how good the track actually is. 1.5 stars. Awesome job. Creeping Debt 135. Alright, and the final track we have here is Austin Land by Austin Kenzie. And this track, it's his first track, so we'll cut him some slack. You know, my first track wasn't very good either, and that's basically how I feel about this one. I feel like you have the bridge, but it's not used as the over-under. Not a big fan. This section, I feel like you could have offset him to even it out. It's definitely faster to take the right side. You can see there our ghost. This triple is kind of odd. This section, you can go outside and step off, but it's way slower, so it's not really worth it. And then he has some of the big boy whoops coming up here, but you just kind of jump over them because it doesn't really have a setup. You just jump over them, and then the finish doesn't have a landing. So, I don't know. Austin, it's your first track. I encourage you to try and build a second track, play some other people's tracks, gain some inspiration, and come back with another suggestion. And I'll try it. But this track, it just doesn't have a flow. It's so simple. Simple tracks are fine, but this one just doesn't have anything to it. It's just built in such an odd way. It doesn't have anything on it. And you can see the sections that are built to have alternate line choice don't really have alternate line choice. So we're gonna give this track 4 stars. Don't feel bad. Use it as motivation to build a second track and come back and make it better than your first track, and we will give it a go. But that wraps up this track, Austin Land. Alright guys, so that is going to finish this episode of Does Your Track Suck? I thank you so much for all the support on this series. If you want to see it continue, remember, if we can hit 500 likes, we will do another episode. You guys have been doing so awesome, hitting the like button and showing your support. It really does mean a lot, because this is a series that we came up with, an original idea to change the way track reviews are done and just do it in our own unique way. And it's fun seeing the good tracks, and it's fun seeing the bad tracks. And again, I want to mention to Austin that, hey, that's what this series is about, is finding whether tracks suck or if they don't. And it's just my opinion, so it doesn't make it right. If you enjoy your track, that's all that matters. And if you want, use it as motivation to make a second track, to try and make it better. And submit it for Does Your Track Suck again. And we'll try it and see if you were able to improve on making tracks. But that's going to wrap up this episode. Remember to leave your track name, your gamer tag, and what platform you're playing on. I do want to mention, people asked about Xbox. My Xbox is out of commission. I can use it to watch stuff, but it's not. I'm having a few issues with it, so hopefully soon. Sorry, Xbox guys. Hopefully next episode we do get your tracks. So you guys, girls, are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.